Hello and welcome to Language, Culture, and Dr. Lou. And I wanted to start off this Weird Word of the Day series just by reminding you that every day is a good day to learn a new weird word. And, and so I have an interesting word for you today. And the weird word of the day is sozzled. And this is not a word that I've known for very long, but I think it's funny, mostly because it has a funny meaning. And sozzled, that's fun to say too. Sozzled. Yeah. And so, what does sozzled mean? Well, let me show you some pictures where everyone in these pictures looks sozzled to me. And there you go. See, so Sozzled, especially the Pink Panther there, is looking pretty sozzled. So basically, as you can see from all these photos, sozzled means intoxicated or inebriated. And it's a kind of fun word to say, sozzled, and sounds a lot more fun to say than, the technical terms, inebriated, intoxicated. And what that made me realize is that we have a lot of synonyms for sozzled, a lot of words that we also use to mean the same thing that are also pretty funny sounding. All the ones except the clinical terms are really funny sounding. So let me give you about a dozen examples. And so here are some silly sounding sozzled synonyms. Try saying that 5 times fast, right? I can barely make it through one time at slow speed. Anyway, so, and these are all, I think you'll agree, these are pretty silly sounding. First of all, drunk or drunken or even drunk faced. Saying drunk, it's very guttural sounding, very Anglo-Saxon, and so that's kind of funny, and especially drunk faced, that gives you some imagery. And we also shorten it just to faced, or I like the next four coming up, starting with hammered, because that gives you good imagery for what this word means. And hammered, I like that imagery because it's having been pounded into the ground. This is not a good way to be, right? This is not a, a positive thing, um, but it is pretty descriptive of what it means to be sozzled, to be really, really sozzled. And it's also very descriptive in the same way of the next three: trashed, smashed, wrecked, right? These are all, none of these are positive things to be. This is all pretty negative imagery to give us the idea of how when someone is sozzled, they're not really in control of themselves. They're, kind of destroyed. And other imagery I like is the word tipsy, because, of course, people who are sozzled have a tendency to sometimes tip over, fall down, and that kind of thing. So I like tipsy, that puts you right. You're on a teetering state, ready to just topple over. Um, and and the last three I think are all fun just because they're so fun to say. For one, we got snockered, and that one is also very Germanic seeming, snockered, and it's just as some fun to say that one as sozzled, I'm pretty sure. And then one of my favorite words after that, bumfuzzled, right? Which normally this describes somebody in the state of just like, what? A state of being perplexed or confused. And I guess that describes a lot of drunk people pretty well. And then finally, the last one on it, it's just too fun to say blotto. If somebody is totally blotto, they are sozzled. So, yeah, so it's funny that I noticed that we have all these ways of saying drunk, basically, or sozzled, blotto, etc. And every single one of them is pretty silly sounding, except for the technical terms like intoxicated. So there you go. That is our weird word of the day, sozzled. And as you can tell, it just means wasted, drunk, intoxicated, etc. Any of the synonyms that I just gave you. And so that's it for the weird word of today. And so I'm always thankful for everybody who watches my videos, especially the ones who stick around and watch it all the way to the very end of the video. So here we are again at the end of the video. So thank you so much for making that happen. And I will be working on picking out a new weird word for tomorrow very soon. And so I will be working on that pretty hard. And I will catch you around next time. Bye bye.